guys, it's Anthony. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to do a little car sales vlog in the form of another segment of Ask Anthony. Ask Anthony is where I have salespeople, real salespeople that I've trained, inbox me questions that I can answer live. This isn't scripted. I haven't looked at them yet. I'm just going to answer them organically and try to give you guys some good material. So let's take a peek. This question is from Brian. Brian's one of my students, one of my young wolves. Brian's question is, what skills are most valued? So what skills are most valued as a salesperson, and particularly a car salesperson? There's a lot of them, right? So there's a lot of them. If I were to say probably the most important thing you could do just starting out selling cars, I would say lean in on your strengths. I would take in all of the information you learn. I would be a sponge, but I would never try to sound scripted. And I tell this to all of my guys and girls, don't ever try to sound just like me. Take what I teach you, make it your own, but sound like yourself, sound genuine, and lean in on whatever your strengths are. So if your strengths are building rapport with your customers, but you're a little shaky on overcoming the objections, or you're a little shaky on closing the deal, or you're a little shaky on, really staying seated in your seat and not running up to your manager after you get a few different objections from your customer, that's okay. Lean in on building rapport, make that your go-to, and don't stress about the other stuff. You'll learn the other stuff as you go, but come from a place of power, come from a place of strength, and say to yourself, okay, not only am I good at building rapport with my customers, I want to be great at it, right? And I use the analogy all the time that Tiger Woods doesn't go home at the end of the day and get mad or beat himself up that he's not good at tennis or swimming or, what have you, basketball. He just hits more golf balls. So he focuses on his strengths and he wants to be the best at that. So if your thing is you get your customers to fall in love with you, make sure and make it a rule for yourself that every single customer is going to fall in love with you. Not just the ones that are easy to get along with. You're going to make the ones that kind of have their guard up. You're going to knock that wall down and you're going to make them fall in love with you. Or let's just say that you're a numbers guy or girl. You're really good with the math. Say to yourself, okay, I'm going to focus on that being my go-to. When I have a customer that I'm in front of and I'm negotiating, I'm going to use the numbers as my strength. I'm going to visually show my customer the breakdown of the math as to why maybe what they're looking to accomplish mathematically doesn't make sense. Or I call it math salad sometimes, where I throw all these numbers together, and by doing so, sometimes it can be a little confusing to the customer, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. We're not deceiving them, we're not manipulating them, but what we're doing is we're showing effort. We're showing them that we're putting the work in, because at the end of the day, that's usually what the customer wants to see, that you're trying your hardest for them. And if you kind of use a lot of different math, it could show, even if you're new, that you're intelligent and that you have a deeper understanding than the average salesperson. So that's a valuable skill, leaning in on your strengths. If product knowledge is your thing, then be the product knowledge guy or girl at your dealership. Make sure that even though if you don't have experience or a lot of it, or even if you're not the greatest negotiator, that when somebody comes in on a unique vehicle, you're the go-to person the managers look for, because you know that vehicle inside and out, and you're able to sell the sizzle of that vehicle. So I think that's super important, leaning in on your strengths, identifying what you're good at, being great at that. Don't get too discouraged over what you're not good at, because you can become good at that too with a little bit of practice, but always come from a place of strength, focus on your strengths, and use that to empower you and make you feel confident. Don't get discouraged about what you don't know yet, or maybe what you're not great at yet, because here's the reality of it. We're all weak at certain things. When I first started selling cars, ironically enough, I was a salesperson at 23 for a year and 10 months, and then I was offered a job as a floor manager, a TO manager, a closer, right? But if I were to pick the weakest part of my game when I first started, it was actually closing deals. And the next job I was offered after a salesperson, my first promotion, was as a closer. So I had to learn how to do that. And I actually looked back after time and realized that my weakness of closing deals came because I didn't understand that you were closing the entire time, right? ABC, always be closing. I thought that the sales process was a very rigid one, where it was the meet and greet, and then, the hitting the lot, and then picking out a vehicle, and then doing a hood and trunk, and then test driving the vehicle, and then test closing, and then doing a needs assessment, or maybe doing the needs assessment first and then hitting the lot. I thought it was this jagged process. And then when it came time to close the deal, that last little part of the puzzle, I felt like I was being like a fraud to my customers. I thought that they were thinking, oh, there's that slimy salesperson. We knew you were in there, right? Like I thought I was being fake to them. I didn't realize that there needs to be undertones of closure throughout the entire process. That the whole time there's an undertone of a business transaction. Yes, I'm there to build rapport with them. And yes, I want them to love me. And yes, I want to go over all the features and benefits of the product they desire. And yes, I want to educate them, but nothing of actual service. I don't service them, and nothing of value happens if they don't leave in a vehicle other than the one they came in. And it took me a while to understand that. That was my weakness, but I always leaned in on my strengths until I became stronger at those weaknesses. So that's valuable, leaning on your strengths. And one more, I would focus on being a problem solver, being able to solve problems. And one quote that I really love, and I truly believe this, is that average salespeople sell features, good salespeople sell benefits, but great salespeople sell solutions. They have an uncanny ability to come up with solutions to solve problems for customers on their feet, on their toes. They're able to dig into their mind and create answers to questions or problems, solving problems that the customer may not even know they have yet, right? So being a problem solver, being able to be resourceful, to be on your toes, right? So leaning on your strengths, be able to solve problems, be resourceful, be able to think on your feet, right? Be able to use all the tools at your disposal, be a Swiss Army knife, right? Be talented and proficient in a bunch of different areas, be good in a bunch of different things. You could be a jack of all trades. Doesn't matter if you're a king of none. Be a jack of all trades, be a Swiss Army knife, be that type of athlete that could do a number of things. They could shoot, they could rebound, they could pass, they could do all kinds of things. They could block, right? So be that type of player, right? Be that type of salesperson where you're resourceful, where every customer is a good fit for you because you can do a little bit of everything. So you don't even have to be great in one area. Just kind of be a Swiss Army knife, as I say. So yeah, there's a few things right there, and I think a lot of them are intangibles that you have to identify about yourself. Find out what's unique to you, what's intuitive to you, what skills that you have already, talents that you're born with, and leverage your strengths. Lean in on your strengths. Don't get too freaked out about what you're not good at yet. That will come, and you'll practice that, and you'll get better. So lean in on your strengths. Be resourceful. Be able to solve problems. Be quick on your feet. All of those things will allow you to fast track in your career, and also, just be able to, I think, have honest conversations with yourself. I'll wrap up with that. Be honest with where you're at in your career and how much effort you're putting in. I think that's really valuable too. I think a lot of times we as salespeople, we're so busy working in the business that we don't work on our business as much as we should. That's why it's great to take a time out and take 5-10 minutes and watch a video like this and really kind of reflect on yourself as a salesperson. Be honest with the effort you're putting in. Are you giving your best? On a scale of 1 to 100, what would you rate yourself? What would you give your overall rating as a salesperson today, right now? Or what were you yesterday? Were you an 85? Were you a 90? Were you a 75? Like, what percentage of yourself, if 100 was the max, did you give? And if you didn't give 100%, how come, right? Reflect back. Reflection is a very important piece on yourself as a salesperson and on yourself as a person, because they usually mesh and work hand to hand. If your personal life is crazy, you're usually going to suffer in your business. And if your business life is slow, you're usually going to take that home to your family. And we have to try our best to compartmentalize those two things. But, it's the reality. They both kind of mesh. There's that work-life harmony, as Jeff Bezos would say, CEO of Amazon. He doesn't believe in work-life balance. He believes in work-life harmony. They work together. So be able to reflect on your performance, have honest conversations with yourself. And if you're coming up short, don't feel guilty. Don't feel shameful. Use that as fuel to motivate you to want to be better because you deserve it. You're worthy. So there's some stuff for you, Brian. I hope that helped. There's some valuable things that I feel like are important. The overcoming of the objections, the understanding how to negotiate. I believe personally, I can teach anybody that, right? When I interview and I hire people, I always say, I don't care if you have sales experience. I don't care if you have any experience in business. Most of the people that we hire are between 20 and 25 years old with no experience. My belief, I subscribe to the belief system, and I said this yesterday in an interview. If you're a good person, I can make you a great employee. So maybe that's the most important thing. Just be a good person, be genuine, be honest, and if you're that, we can make you a great employee. Hey, my friend, thank you for watching, and if you want to see videos just like this one, please like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate the love and support, and don't forget, leave some comments down below. I'm looking forward to all of your interaction and feedback, and I can't wait to bring you more videos just like this one. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.